When my grandpappy first founded this channel way back in 1896, he had a vision for how his channel should be. It should be adventurous. That's the main thing. Should be adventurous. So, in my intro video to this channel, I talked about all these different places and ghost towns out west, particularly ghost towns out west is the point I'm going to be getting to, that I wanted to tell the stories of. So then I started going through and editing those videos, and then I realized I've only got about 3 or 4 minutes of each of these locations, and I want to tell their full stories. You've seen my other documentaries. You've seen the Atlantic documentary, you've seen the Brynath train wreck, you've seen the Scindia or the concrete ship Atlantis, and I really go in depth with each of them. And there's a lot of footage that's needed to support a full historical documentary about each of these subjects, and I just didn't have that about even some of the best ghost towns out there. And I couldn't do them justice. So I needed to go back. And that's what I did. For the last month, I was on the West Coast. Now, I was still working on my day job and some of the other projects that you're aware of. In fact, my day job is in Los Angeles, so I was actually on site instead of being remote like I usually am. But it was a trip that was still full of filming, and in fact, Emma and I, we made up to 40 different potential videos. Now, some of them I'm not sure if we're actually going to do, but we have them there in case we decide to. 40 potential videos. And that's how we spent the trip, and it was one heck of a trip. We started out taking Amtrak from Philadelphia to Los Angeles. That was a 4-day journey. We had a sleeper car. It was actually quite an experience, something I always had wanted to do, but I had started hearing rumors that they were going to be closing that line down. Maybe that's true, maybe that's not. But I wanted to do it before I lost that opportunity to go cross-country on a train. So we went for it, and we filmed the whole experience, and that's a video right there. We met some amazing people along the way, and once we were in Los Angeles, the fun did not stop there. I met up with Park Stevenson, an old friend, and we put together a historical documentary on the USS Oklahoma.
For the first time, we're able to positively identify it as a midget sub that had participated in the Pearl Harbor attack.
Stayed overnight on the SS Lane Victory, a World War II victory ship, or a cargo ship from the end of the war, and put together a historical video on that. And then we were off to Catalina Island. I met with the people who run the Catalina Island Museum, had a great time with them, helped them make their Titanic exhibit that they now have currently running. We ran into Billy Zane and Rick Springfield, but you're not going to see them in a video, unfortunately. And all along the way, we were putting together documentaries about the history out there, shipwrecks, lost stories, and then after that, we did 2 weeks across the American desert. Camping in ghost towns and exploring mine shafts, and even staying at some historical hotels that are all going to be some good stories. We actually put special emphasis on getting some good shots and making sure that everywhere that we went that we wanted to do a video on, we have the materials needed to do that video. So we went out across the desert, brought the old staples with me, the Winchester, because you have to have that when you go into the desert. I'm not even exaggerating, you really need to be armed out there. I bought the drone, actually, for this trip, even though it's already gotten some mileage in advance of the trip. I bought this drone so that I could fly it and get some amazing cinematography out there. And it got destroyed on the trip. It did not survive. When I was landing it, it just stopped responding, drifted into an old brick wall, and came crashing down. Severed one of the arms completely and ripped a lot of the wiring inside, and that truly sucked because that happened the day before I took it to Delamar, Nevada, which is my favorite ghost town. And that town is what I bought this drone for. That is what I wanted to capture drone shots on. So I actually ended up fixing a lot of the wiring and fusing the plastic back together and managed to get a good number of additional flights out of it. But it is under warranty, so I'm planning to get another one. We went to Ely and visited the old ghost train and Dirt the Cat, so if you're interested in train videos, there's going to be a few of those. And then there's also some more unique ones. Interviews along the way with people who I find to be quite interesting people who with stories that I think you're going to want to hear. But I also bought a brand new GoPro for the trip, and I put together some videos that will not be for everybody. In fact, God help you if you watch the whole thing. But I drove from the Pacific to the Atlantic Ocean, and I time-lapsed the whole thing. It's a 10-hour video. Not for everybody, like I said, but it's going to go up on the channel, and I know some people actually really do like that stuff, and I have it, and you know what? I'm going to share it. I'm also sitting on a few other videos that I'm waiting to put out. I've got a new Histo Brick assembly video coming up with a lineup of 3 ships, and then I have a visit to the Strasburg Railroad. So make sure that you're subscribed if you haven't already, and turn on post notifications by clicking that little bell icon at the bottom. That will alert you anytime a new video comes up, because the YouTube algorithm doesn't actually notify subscribers. You have to have that alert turned on. I'm not quite sure which videos we're going to start with. We started editing some of them, and I'm quite pleased with how they're looking, but I don't know yet which ones are going to come first. Although I do know that I'm going to try to get that Oklahoma video out in time for Pearl Harbor Day. Stay tuned. It was one heck of a trip, and this is our way of sharing that with you.